Ever feel like you're living in like a sci-fi movie?
Hmm.
You know, where it's like these invisible forces are just kind of nudging you in certain directions?
Yeah.
Well, we kind of are.
Yeah.
Today, we're diving into the world of algorithms
Right.
with mathematician Hannah Fry and her book, Hello World, How to Be Human in the Age of the Machine. It's fascinating stuff.
Yeah, it's really eye-opening. This book takes a look at how these lines of code, these algorithms, are shaping so much of our lives these days.
It's true, and we hear about algorithms all the time, but I think for a lot of us, it's this kind of mysterious, like we don't really get it.
Mm-hmm.
So before we get too deep into Hannah Fry's take on all this, let's break it down a little bit. What exactly I Do So is an algorithm,
Okay.
and why should we even care?
Well, you can almost imagine a recipe, but instead of baking a cake, it's spitting out decisions.
Okay.
You feed it information, it follows a specific set of instructions, and boom, you have an output. Think of like your GPS navigation.
Right.
That's an algorithm crunching data on traffic patterns, road closures, even your speed to find the fastest route
Yeah,
at that moment in time.
it's true.
Yeah.
And that's where Hannah Fry's book comes in.
Right.
Hello World.
Yeah.
It's a title that feels almost like deceptively simple when you think about the complex issues she's tackling.
It is. And I think it was a brilliant choice because she uses that simple phrase, something so fundamental in the coding world, that hello world, to highlight how we need to approach algorithms, right?
Okay.
We need that basic understanding, that hello world introduction to navigate this world where algorithms are becoming so influential.
So it's not just about understanding how to code, it's about understanding the code that's increasingly shaping our lives.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
And Fry, she really doesn't shy away from the big questions, like how comfortable are we with these algorithms making decisions about things like loan applications
Yeah.
or even criminal justice?
Uh-huh.
She poses this really thought-provoking scenario in the book. Imagine you're accused of a crime. Who would you trust to determine your fate? A human judge or an algorithm?
Whoa, that's a tough one. I can see why that would make you stop and think.
Right. It forces us to confront our assumptions about algorithms. We tend to think of them as objective,
Right.
impartial.
Yeah.
But Fry reminds us that they're only as good as the data they're fed and the people who program them.
Which brings us to another really fascinating point she makes. This idea of algorithms inheriting our biases, even amplifying them.
Exactly. Like if the data used to train an algorithm is skewed, for example, if it reflects existing racial or gender biases, the algorithm will learn and perpetuate those biases.
Wow.
It's a very sobering reminder that even in this seemingly objective realm of algorithms, human fallibility is still a factor.
It's like that old saying, garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly.
But it applies to algorithms too. Fry doesn't just focus on the potential downsides, does she?
No, absolutely not.
I mean, there's a lot of good that can come from this technology as well.
For sure. And she explores that as well, the potential for algorithms to improve healthcare, to optimize city planning, even to help tackle things like climate change. The key, she argues, is to approach this technology with open eyes, understanding both its capabilities and its limitations.
So it's not about rejecting algorithms outright. It's about being informed and engaged citizens in this increasingly algorithmic world. Let's be real, though, this stuff can feel overwhelming. Like, where do we even begin to wrap our heads around all of it?
Well, a good place to start is with the everyday ways that algorithms are already shaping our lives. Those personalized recommendations you see online, the curated news feeds on social media, these are all driven by algorithms. And once you start noticing them, you can start asking questions.
Yeah, it's true. Once you start noticing it, it's like those personalized recommendations are everywhere online these days.
Everywhere.
It's easy to forget there's this whole, hidden layer of algorithms kind of pulling the strings.
Yeah. It's like having an invisible personal shopper, a news curator, like even a matchmaker, all driven by algorithms trying to predict what we want, what we like, even like who we should date,
It's a little creepy when you think about it like that.
Right.
And it's not just about convenience or entertainment anymore, right? I mean, Fry talks about how algorithms are being used in healthcare.
Absolutely.
They help diagnose diseases, analyze medical scans, even predict, patient outcomes.
Yeah, and that's a huge area of exploration and potential, but also, potential pitfalls.
Yeah, it's both impressive and a little unnerving, right?
Yeah.
On the one hand, you have this potential to improve diagnoses,
Right.
maybe even save lives. But on the other hand, you're talking about really serious stuff, life-altering decisions
Yeah.
being made, at least in part, by algorithms
And that's why I think Fry's message, it really resonated with so many people. I mean, her book became a bestseller, not because it's some technical manual on coding, but because she's asking us to really think about this stuff.
Right.
The role we want algorithms to play in our lives.
Yeah.
It's not about becoming like a tech expert overnight or anything.
Right.
It's about being, informed citizens.
Yeah.
Asking questions, demanding transparency,
So what's the takeaway then for our listener? What can they do starting like today to become more aware of these algorithms and how they're shaping their world?
I think the first step is simply awareness, right? Just start paying attention to those personalized recommendations, those targeted ads. Ask yourself, like, why am I seeing this?
Yeah.
What data is this based on? And then, don't be afraid to dig a little deeper. Learn more about how these algorithms are being used, not just in your own life, but in the wider world. Because the more we understand them, the better equipped we'll be to make sure they're used responsibly and ethically.
So it's not about fearing the algorithm, it's about understanding it.
Exactly.
It's about becoming active participants in this, like you said, increasingly digital world.
I love that, yeah.
Awesome. Well, there you have it, listeners, a deep dive into the world of algorithms, courtesy of Hannah Fry and her really thought-provoking book, Hello World. Now that you're armed with this knowledge, go forth and explore. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.